Live in like 2 seconds. If we're not live already. And that's it. We're live. What's up? Good evening, viewers. This is Kid Smooth representing TiC GN, and this is episode 17 of the Writer's Block podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I knew that was going to happen. Hopefully, you guys didn't get that feedback. But as I was saying, welcome to episode 17. We're gonna start off with my man Undead. What's up? How you doing?
Oh, how's it going, guys? This is Undead, back for another week, another ton of games and news and all the other stuff that comes week to week.
And New Type, what's up?
Oh, what's up, guys? It's Matt, or New Type 86. Thanks for having me again, guys.
And EXP, hopefully he's not hiding behind his avatar playing video games.
Nah, I'm definitely not playing this week. But yeah, what's up, guys? It's EXP Gaming. Thanks for having me.
All right, and Fame ENT, and let me unmute him because he's got a lot of feedback. Let's see. Did I unmute him? How can I unmute him? I think he's permanently muted. No, I think I can't. It's shaded out. I can't unmute him. That is crazy. I thought once you mute somebody, you can unmute them, and I can't unmute him.
Oh, yeah, I don't think you can unmute him. I think he has to unmute himself.
Oh, wow. How horrible. He's trying to... Well, we all know who Fame is.
He's shaking his head.
Yeah, that must be new, because I thought you can manually mute people and unmute people at all times. I can't believe I have the power to mute him. But
you ain't shit.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. My bad.
Sorry for cussing. This is Fame, mobile edition. Yeah, my bad. Let's get the show rolling.
All right, I'm about to mute you again.
You ain't spit.
Okay. So he's muted because obviously coming through the car speakers, he's going to get a lot of feedback. But before we get into today's show, a couple games came out this week. What is everyone playing? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Been still playing through Alienation on PS4. It's pretty good. I got videos on my YouTube channel if you want to check them out. And I just got Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, so I'm probably going to spend a lot of time with that. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And Undead, you always find yourself playing something.
Fallout 4, Far Harbor DLC, and Doom this week. That's what it's been all about. Also had enough time to knock off that Costume Quest 2. That was free with gold. It took me 9 hours to get the 100% on that, so fun little game. Don't expect a lot, but fun little RPG.
I gotta download it. I keep forgetting to download it.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually. The production company Double Fine that does it is actually pretty good. There's actually some pretty good humor through it. Made it enjoyable. Made up for the lackluster gameplay, for sure.
And then EXP, what you playing?
I'm currently playing Uncharted Collection. I just beat it, Uncharted 2. Going into 3 now. But after that, I'm definitely gonna go into Uncharted 4.
Okay. I'm actually currently playing nothing. I went back. I started playing Forza for a little bit and played some NBA Live. And I started Halo again. I was playing Infection earlier today. I'm happy they brought that mode to the game. To the game. I contemplated on games. Nobody had picked up like games such as Battleborn, Overwatch, or Doom.
I picked up Doom. I already beat it. This is a fun game.
Yeah, I got Doom. I just haven't had time to play it yet. I start my 2 days off now, so I'll be digging into that.
I just got Overwatch.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I enjoyed the Overwatch beta, but I was not sure if I should get it or not. Because typically, when it comes to games like that, I feel like I fall into the hype and I buy it, and then I don't end up liking it. So I was like, no, I'm gonna hold off. I got some bucks on my account, but I always put money on my Xbox account around this time just to see what happens during E3, to see how I'm gonna spend it all. So Currently, I'm not playing anything new. What about any of you in here playing Uncharted?
I did, but I finished it already, and I'm done. I don't need to play it again.
Okay.
I'm holding off till I actually get a PS4 to play it. I could bug my friend about it, but I'm not gonna. I'll just hold off.
Yeah, and then if you notice, our good friend Nicodemus is missing, but rest be assured he will be back with us next week. Nicodemus, shout out to Nicodemus. Subscribe to his channel. It is in the description below, even though he is absent today. And shout out to Nicodemus for him and his date with Uncharted video. It's an amazing video. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. It's an amazing video. I even had to remix it. So here we go. So first things first. Nintendo apparently has been working on a new handheld. It's called Project MH. It still hasn't been super confirmed, but they had one of their sales meeting, and this Project MH had came up in the conversation. This was spotted off NeoGAF and also IGN. Apparently, Nintendo is developing. Obviously, we know about the home console index and a portable console MH. Now, have at it. What do you? Is this? Should we expect anything? I mean, is this believable? Is this true? If it is, what can we expect from another Nintendo handheld besides domination?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this were true. I'm sure MH stands for mobile handheld or something like that. But the biggest question I had when they announced that they were only showing Zelda at E3 was what was going to happen with 3DS, because it's still big for them, and Pokemon, the new Sun and Moon's coming out this year, so for them to completely hold off on the 3DS at E3, it just didn't make sense to me. But now, if the MH is real, it makes a little bit more sense. And it might be the handheld component that everyone was talking about, instead of it being the NX just being one thing, where the controller is also the screen. The MH may be the gamepad sold separately.
Well,
How they want the Wii to do it.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking it's kind of gonna be like, I think they're trying to go for it, the NX and the MH. They might be trying to go like the PS4 and the Vita route with it, and having it being like usable and everything else. But honestly, Nintendo dominates the handheld market. They could literally re-release the same thing 19 times over, and their fan base is gonna buy it. The loyalty of handhelds is phenomenal for Nintendo, but at the same time, they really don't have any competition in that market. The Vita did not. It was not, the same numbers as Nintendo. So them announcing a new handheld is, Like how many? Like when did the 3DS come out? That was like what, 3 years ago?
2011 maybe.
It's old now.
I think it came out before the Wii U.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, so
But the new 3DS just came out last year, so.
Yeah,
the one that does nothing.
yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that.
I just think Nintendo's not showing a lot at E3 because, for the simple reasons, they're probably going to do one of their Nintendo Directs, and then because they want to spotlight their own show. And I remember reading somewhere, I can't remember if it was a Nintendo employee or something, and said that they didn't want to compete with Xbox and PlayStation. They wanted people to judge them on the basis of their own games and everything else, separate from the E3 platform. And kudos to them for that, but at the same time, it almost makes it sound like they don't have anything worthwhile to offer at the moment. And I'm kind of on edge about it.
With me, I'm just confused with their handheld market. Like, it seems like they're trying to be like Apple and make a new handheld every year, but like in this case, it's like every 2 years. But they're not making like significant changes. Like with the new 3DS, all they added was a C stick. like there's not much improvement. So I would like to see what they would add to this device.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm surprised they're still keeping it in mobile in general. Uh, Mostly because they started doing mobile phone games, and usually those should be ads for whatever's coming out on the NX. Mobile has been taken over by actual phone games, so for them to stick in it, I don't know if that's the best idea. Because they already spread themselves too thin. You saw it with the Wii U and the games they were releasing for that, if anybody even had one. They were usually just spin-offs. Like there was no Zelda game. The first Zelda game that came out was Hyrule Warriors or Wind Waker, one of those, and one's a remaster and the other one's just a spin-off. It's just basically a Musou game. So
Yeah, go ahead, Jerry. I don't know with Nintendo. I don't think they're very in touch with what people want anymore. They won't step away from what they believe in. Like the Wii was insanely successful, and then the Wii U did not meet at all the standards they had expected for, and I really don't see them correcting any of the mistakes they've made. They're still not releasing games in a timely fashion. Like Nintendo's known for their exclusives. Like yeah, Xbox has its dry spell of exclusives right now. PlayStation has a fair jag of exclusives, but everything we know and picture on Nintendo platform is exclusives. If they're not releasing exclusives, like even if Nintendo picked up third-party support, like who's gonna play? Who's gonna be like, hey, who wants to hook up and play Battlefield on the NX? Like when was
Yeah,
the
that's
last?
my first spot. Oh, go ahead.
Like with the NX, they've got to step it up. Like there's not even is there even a party chat on the Wii U yet? Like have they come into 2007 yet or no?
no, I don't think. I don't know. I don't go online with it, so I wouldn't know.
I don't even think there is online on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that you bring up the Nintendo Wii U and NX. Recently, reports independent developers came out, and they're hoping that the NX is just as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One, or hoping that it is more powerful than those consoles. Now, I'm bringing this up not because it's a big deal, but I'm just shocked at the developers that actually are asking for this. And I'm only asking for this because it's not like freaking DICE came out with the Frostbite engine and said, you know, Nintendo NX needs a more powerful console, or freaking Activision or Bungie, whoever, come out and said, hey, you know, for us to work on the NX, we have to have a more power. They have to have a more powerful hardware and stuff like that. It's the fact that independent developers said this. Now, Nicodemus, he's not here, so he can't bash on me, but I have no issue with indie developers and indie games. Like they have created some of my favorite games over the past 3, 4, 5 years. But the thing I was surprised at is that I put independent developer and requested more power. Now I had to do my little do some research because the developers they were surveying were people who made was Black Forest Studios. They've done like the Gianna Sisters games, the games that they've been putting out, the arcade versions. They did the guys that made the Sniper Elite. I forgot the name of that studio. And then the studio that bought us Guacamelee. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why, of all people, are they requesting more power out of anything when not any of those developers made a game that actually screamed power? I mean, I'm sure a freaking Windows 95 PC without a video card at all can run Guacamelee, and I'm sure that Sniper Elite can still probably be played on a PlayStation 2. And Gianna Sisters, come on, fun game, but it doesn't require much to make those games on any type of hardware. So I was just in shock because none of those developers made anything that was like, oh my god, like where you have to argue, oh, this game can't run 1080p 60 frames per second because it looks too good. You know, no, they've all made small games that can practically run on anything. And I was just in utter surprise that why, out of all people, that they're requesting the NX to have more power. Because the games they make can run on a Wii U, can run on a Wii. Are you guys there?
Yeah, I don't know. Indie developers calling for more power, I just find it ironic, if anything else, because the whole draw from the indie market is to focus more on art style and everything else, to be more about like story and substance more than just high-powered visuals. And the Nintendo Wii U is not an underpowered console. It runs fairly stably, from what I remember when I owned one anyway. Like, it runs games fairly decently. So them saying that, you know, our games don't run properly on the Wii U, maybe not. I think if I remember correctly, the main problem people have with the Wii U was coding for the game. Wii U is so much different than the PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah.
And that a lot of developers just didn't want to touch it because there wasn't a huge sales market. Because let's face it, the Nintendo's market, if you own a Nintendo system, you're buying Mario games, Zelda games, some of the JRPGs they've got, some of the other oddball ones and everything else. But you, like, once again, you're not going to pick up a game like, if I have a Wii U and an Xbox, and I had the option to buy, say, Ori for some reason was on the Wii U, I'd still get it on my Xbox because I can play it on my Xbox, talk with my friends in party chat, get achievements for it, etc., etc.
Yeah, it seems like it'd just be a money thing, because if it's not powerful enough, you gotta, I guess, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe you gotta like recode stuff for it to actually utilize what's going on, and that takes money. And indie developers are indie developers, so they don't exactly have money to burn. So.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about it. Like, when I think of an indie developer, I think they choose wisely on how to, like, you know, put high performance on the game, because that costs like a lot of money to, you know, make those high graphical games, and indie developers aren't known to do that. And another thing, like, when I think of Nintendo, I don't think of power. When I think of power, I think of PlayStation and Xbox. When I get a Nintendo console, I don't really think about playing like high graphical games. I just think about playing Zelda, Bayonetta, Mario. They don't really take that much high graphical power. So that's just crazy for an indie developer wanting that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that, I mean, Nintendo catches a lot of flack, and I don't even think they had any like ill intent. I guess they were just hoping to have something compatible. Maybe it's probably not the power itself, because I don't know if the Wii U or the Wii like ran on like x86 like or anything like that. So like how the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 is developed like based around. So the thing is that most independent developers I know, they build their game off of an engine, and most time that engine is Unity. And I can't say if I've seen anything exactly spectacular running that engine, but it is a powerful engine which is responsible for porting the games to whichever platform they see fit. But as far as the Nintendo NX, I feel like, you know, there's a lot that I want to learn about it, but Nintendo has been very tight-lipped, and it's just like I feel like they don't want you to know anything about it, because maybe the expectations are up here for some people when what they're really probably going to put out is probably right there, you know. So and we just have to prepare for it. The thing is, like I said, I'm always looking back to try to get to Nintendo. You know, there was a rumor that the freaking NX could be using cartridges, and I would fail to believe that as a possibility for them to go back to cartridges, if I'm saying that right. Who knows? They might use freaking square disc or freaking
floppy
who
disks.
knows? Floppy disk. Yeah. I won't go that far. No, they might find some technology to use that it can only be used on this. Like freaking when the GameCube came out, there was nothing else using those mini discs. You can't even find a mini disc player. Like, you know what I mean? So it's different. I knew they were gonna do something different. I just hope whatever they do, they don't make it to the point where they're gonna make playing video games different, so different to the point where it's not comfortable. And that's what they've been doing the last 10 years, is making playing video games uncomfortable. And hopefully they get up with times. I can't imagine how it would be playing online with a Nintendo console, like in a party system, playing an online game and actually enjoying it. It just doesn't. Not very Nintendo like.
No, I can't imagine being like getting off work and being like, "Hey guys, you gonna be on the Nintendo NX later, man? I can't wait to run some Call of Duty." The most
they'll do is somehow just make sure that you can link up with one of your handheld devices. They'll make sure, all right, you can party chat, but only party chat with people on like handhelds or text with people on handhelds and stuff like that. It'll be something weird where it's like, well, I wasn't going to use that anyway, type of feature. But this dude stays trying to catch me with that, bro. I can't be looking at the chat because he tried to get me with that last a couple weeks ago. But there was also some other news that broke. Well, it's not quite news, but Uncharted 4 has been on top of the charts for the last couple of weeks. It sold, I think they said altogether estimated around 2.7 million. In the first week 1 for Uncharted 4, easily becoming the best-selling exclusive of 2016. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
It's kind of ironic though, because people said that PlayStation gamers don't really support their exclusives, but as you can see now, it's becoming one of the top sellers. So that's pretty crazy.
It's just good for Naughty Dog, I guess. I mean, it doesn't affect me in any way. I played the game, it's fun. So, the only thing, it really did surprise me that, because it's like 2.75 million, I still think it's a low number considering how many people have PlayStations.
It's 7%. I was talking with Anchorman about this, and it's 7% of their install base has Uncharted 4 right now. Is roughly the estimates of how many people have it, with 2.7 million playing, and that's a good number. Like, do you think 7% of PlayStation 4 owners have Uncharted 4, whether they've installed it or not, or they're like me, they buy games, put it on a shelf, and don't touch it for 2 months? That's irrelevant, but all in all, it's really good for Naughty Dog. I'm glad they had success. My only regret is not being able to teleport back in time to like 1989 or whenever Naughty Dog formed up and invest in money in that company, because you'd be rich by now.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think this game has the capabilities to sell over time?
Here's the thing. I feel like we live in a generation now. You know how like things back in the day would sell. You know, they would sell, but then they would sell even better, like over time, and that's how we never knew how much a game sold in like a day or a week, you know, back then. But you can go back and look at the overall sales, you know, within the 2-3 years of its existence, the overall sales. Most of this damage was done after the game came out. I feel like right now we live in a day one society, and whereas that everybody that was going to buy the game already bought the game. So now it's not going to it's going to sell 2.7 million this week and then sell another million this week. No, it's going to be going to be like this. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because it happens regardless. When something first came out, you're always going to get the highest sales the week it comes out, and then it's going to gradually go down. And I feel like Uncharted will probably finish out, like, at least it would mature around maybe 5 million, 4 or 5. I'll say 5 million. It may potentially mature. I don't see it doing like 10 million or anything like that, because of the society we live in, we get, as gamers, as people, we get bored quick, and we're looking for the next thing to go to. So that's why it's like you'll get that first initial sales, that 2.7 million that Uncharted 4 sold was that. If think about it, Uncharted 3, I don't have the exact raw numbers right now, probably sold 2.7 in a matter of a year, possibly, if I'm not mistaken.
Uncharted 3?
Yeah.
I think Uncharted 3 sold more than Uncharted 4 did.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
shit.
The install base was a lot bigger, though.
But yeah, all right, so let me bring it back to maybe Uncharted 1 or Uncharted, like, you know what I mean? But I didn't realize that. I didn't know how the game was that popular. I heard a lot about it, but I didn't know it was that popular back then. But as far as I don't see it, yeah, it was. I would say within the next 3 months, will it continue to sell? Yes, but I feel like it would eventually is going to mature and cool off. I'm still looking for when I get a PlayStation 4 Neo. If they don't announce a Neo at E3, then I'll just go ahead and get a PlayStation 4 after the show, and then I'll get my copy of Uncharted. But otherwise, yeah, to answer your question, I already answered it. Who else can answer that?
I agree with I think if Uncharted 4 will keep pace, because I don't really look at sales numbers too much. I think the average amount that Uncharted sold previously was around 5 million, and I think they'll stay on pace to hit 5 million over time. But I definitely, in the way sales work now, is the first 2 weeks are the most important for your sales numbers. But there are games that continue to sell really well over time. Look at GTA 5 as one. GTA 5 still outpaces some new releases week to week with downloads and installs. Fallout 4 is sustained well. It really depends on the game, really. But it's really rare that you see an exclusive continue to hit big numbers week to week. But only time will tell. I think this will either keep pace with the previous Uncharted games or will exceed previous sales.
I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps doing good. It's never going to top last week or this week, but it'll keep going, mostly because of new people adopting the system. Mm-hmm. Usually, like if I bought an Xbox One right now, I'd be like, "Where are the big games?" And they'd be like, "Oh, Halo 5," or yeah, Halo 5, and what else came out? Oh, Quantum Break. If someone told me that, I'd be like, all right, I'll get those games. It's probably going to work like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, you would have to be 1, 2, and 3 in order to play 4, though. You can't just go straight into it.
Well, no, I wouldn't agree with that. You probably enjoy it more because you'll get a lot of the inside stuff if you play the previous 3. There's even some nods to Golden Abyss in there, but if you just play it by itself, I think there's enough setup so you know who these people are and what's going on to where you could just play it by itself.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Like I said, I had the Uncharted collection. I played, I beat the first one, and I started the second one. I didn't finish the second one or third one, but I don't think just knowing how the game plays, it's like, for example, when I played. Like it took me. I didn't play the Tomb Raider reboot until this year. Until it became Games with Gold. I got it. I played it right before like the Rise of the Tomb Raider came out. But I didn't feel like I needed to play the reboot in order to enjoy Rise of the Tomb Raider. I just feel like knowing the gameplay of Uncharted, the way it plays, and what to expect as far as gameplay wise, and then being familiar with the multiplayer. I think I can roughly get and enjoy the game both story-wise and gameplay-wise. Unless they really heavily did it to a fashion where you, in order to understand what's going on, you have to beat to play the other games. And I feel like Naughty Dog has done like a good job as far as creating a game where you can jump in and they kind of tell you stories. Because I feel like every Uncharted so far has told its own story, and I feel like they're all like separate missions. None of them are ever like continued missions from the first game.
Yeah, it just gives you, it lets you know what to expect, but that's really it. But I would advise anyone that wants to play the game to at least go 1 through 3. I think you'll enjoy it more. You'll get more out of it, I think.
So there's been a lot of comparison for Uncharted 4 sales, first week sales, and Halo 5's first week sales. I don't know why. I think they just pulled out Halo 5 because it was the biggest release on the Xbox last year. And so you've seen many different things, different images. People have Drake carrying Master Chief, and somehow Halo becomes an epic failure because Uncharted sold more in May of 2016 of what Halo sold October of 2015. What is your guys' thoughts on that?
It isn't with that Halo is like 400 million, right?
Well, what Halo made
Yeah,
the 400 million thing, it came from like the how much revenue it had brought in, not just based on the game itself, but all the other stuff that it sold.
Yeah, because like controllers and stuff.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. It estimated they've made $400 million with Halo, but I think physical sales, which we only so far got, was that first week of like 1.46 million for Halo 5, which people say is bad. It is the lowest of a main Halo game selling first week of Halo 1. And that's saying a lot when selling 1.45 million is the lowest selling in your franchise. And I think with it selling that, but it sold 1.5 whatever, and physical sales obviously we don't know with the digital sales what I think the game currently stands at, maybe 3-4 million at the time. So it's just been a lot of back and forth with it between PlayStation fans and Xbox fans and people really wanting something to be an equal or be better than Halo.
Well, see what I kind of laugh at though, because you said the first week Halo sales was what, 1.4,
Mm-hmm.
and Xbox has half the install base of PS4, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
if you double up the numbers, it's the same amount, same percentage across your install base. If you wanted to be real about it, this
Yeah,
is like if you want to math it, I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, that's bullshit," but basically, if you put it into mathematical numbers, it's the same percentage of people that bought Uncharted 4 the first week, or the same amount of people that bought Halo the first week. And whether you bought Halo or you bought Uncharted, it really doesn't matter as long as you're buying and playing games. Just move on with it. Why people have to sit there and pull out? Like, I find it pathetic. I lost a lot of respect for some people I had on Twitter when they were sitting there going, "Oh, Halo made 400 million in merchandise." I'm like, okay, so we're counting game sales, keychains, controllers, consoles, and everything now. It's just sad. Like, honestly, just let it go. Play the game, enjoy the game, just let it go.
Yeah, I really don't care about sales numbers. I could care less about it, but the answer is really simple. Just PS4 has more consoles, so people are going to buy Uncharted 4, and most of the people that were originally on Xbox One moved to the PS4, so they're not able to buy Halo. So that's another problem with Halo selling so low.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it's a fair assumption. My thing is, like I said, the best game for the best-selling console did what it's supposed to do, and that sell a lot. Just like the best game on the Xbox did what it was supposed to do during the time, and it sold a lot. You know, it is what it is. But the thing is that there's always got to be one. The thing I guess that bugged me about the situation is that there was this need to like there was this need like nobody really celebrated like I don't know why we celebrate these things anyway, but nobody really celebrated. Oh damn! Like Naughty Dog, they knocked it out of the park. Oh, #1 selling game. Oh, they sold this, sold that. nobody can never just celebrate that. It had to be, oh, Xbox this, oh, you guys suck, oh, Master Chief sucks, oh, my Xbox turned on, oh, Master Chief sucks, da, 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 da. It has to be like, let's bash the Xbox guys. They could just, it's like, I don't understand that about certain people. It's like, you can't just take what you got and be happy. I think people made a big deal. I did a video when they announced that Halo 5 did like 400 million in sales and stuff like that. I did a video, right? Video lasted about 30 seconds. I just said what was said. It had music playing behind me and danced. Didn't mention PlayStation and PlayStation fans at all. That was it. But it was such a fanboy thing for me to do. But now people literally cannot celebrate PlayStation winning NPD, Uncharted getting great scores without it being like, let's go attack on the Xbox fans. They can't do that, and I just don't understand that. I don't mind people celebrating things that they enjoy. But my thing is, why can't you just celebrate it? Why does it have to be like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to get at the Xbox guys? It's like, because I feel like when the Xbox gets something that big, when Halo was doing it, even though they saying it's slow, but it was big deal. I mean, it's still 1.5 in a week, beat out every other game that was out around the same time. Pooped on Assassin's Creed, you know what I mean, on one console, you know what I mean? So, and it was more like, oh, wow, this is great. It wasn't like, let's thrash on the PlayStation guys. But, I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, people are like competitors, so like they feel like somehow they invested some sort of stock in these companies where they feel like they have a say so. But like, it's ridiculous though. Like, you can't enjoy your own game and like celebrate it without bashing another game from the other console. Like, it's crazy. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
See, my biggest problem with the whole situation is I have a friend that went through school for game development, and he's just been hired to intern at Bethesda, so he's super excited about that and everything else. But something I had a long conversation about him with is the biggest thing that kills me is like when Quantum Break came out, there was a lot of controversy over the game length, everything else, and everybody who owned a PS4 had an opinion on Quantum Break. And it's the same thing about Xbox guys having opinions on Uncharted. It's fine if you have an opinion, and if you don't like a game because you played it, that is a perfectly reasonable thing. But I see videos of people saying Quantum Break didn't sell because it was a horrible game, Remedy's garbage, all this other things. If you want a console war and that's your whole agenda, that's fine with me. But leave the developers out of it. There's developers that work 14-hour days, 15-hour days, 6 days a week to put these games out. They work their tails off on them, and all they become is fanboy fodder. And like you've seen it more this generation than anything. There's developers that have completely, like, individual game developers that have left Twitter because they get death threats, everything else. It's just stupid and petty. And honestly, if you're part of that whole demographic that gets violent or volatile or toxic about video games, then I just really have no time for you whatsoever. I'm losing patience with this very quickly.
Yeah, it's entertaining, if anything, but it's really stupid. But it's going to continue. Of course, it's going to continue for sure. But I haven't publicly congratulated Naughty Dog and Sony for their big success. I've been too busy crying about it. So, and speaking of crying about it, my thing I also want to touch up on is that there's this group of people. You know how when something's about to happen, right? You anticipate something. Like, for example, when we expect E3's coming, we know we know Xbox and Sony, somebody's gonna have a killer show. It just by what happens every year, somebody has a great show. when Gears of War comes out, we know it's going to probably be the #1 selling game the month that it comes out. Can anybody agree? It's probably going to be the #1 selling game in the month of October. That I can say that easily.
That sounds fair.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
Yeah.
we can expect that, right? So since we anticipate that, right? So now the thing that bugs me is that Uncharted was coming. We know Uncharted's coming, and we know how much it was going to sell, but you could probably tell it was going to be the #1 selling game in the month of May because nothing's coming out next to it that's worth a damn. But the thing is that people were anticipating, for example, the Xbox people to be salty, upset, and stuff like that based on sales, reviews. It was like they were pumping it up, and I felt like when the reviews came out, I didn't see a lot of negative reaction towards it by the quote-unquote Xbox community, but I felt like people hyped it up so much that they went on and made videos and tweets about people saying things that people weren't even saying. And I felt like the same thing happened with sales. They obviously best-selling game so far in the month of May with Uncharted 4. The anticipation for Xbox people to be unhappy and to start crying and do different videos on it being successful and people hating and stuff like that. There was all this anticipation about it, but it didn't quite happen. So people still got on, made videos about it, but it naturally never happened. And that's where I don't understand. It's like I feel like people are looking forward to like games and certain things that happen for the wrong reasons. Just we want to see how bad this group responds when this game sells this much or when this game gets this many reviews. Opposed to like, I can't wait for this game to come out because I can't wait for you to play. But we're in a generation where people are looking forward to the demise of other people based on the performance of a game or a console or a showing, if we're talking about E3.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's so true because like there's I will never name names or anything, but there's a couple of Xbox channels I've seen the past few weeks, and up to the release of Uncharted 4, all their videos were Uncharted 4 based videos. And if you don't have the console and you don't have the game, why are you continuously talking about it? Unless, of course, you're excited for the game. If you're excited for a game, that's fine. But making multiple videos or tweets or anything to bash people that enjoy a game, like, I'm not a fan of JRPGs. I do not like JRPGs. They are not my cup of tea. There's very few of them I can play. But just because I don't like them doesn't mean everyone else can't like them. Like, if you like JRPGs, more power to you. I hope you enjoy them. I hope the game launches. But all these gamers that are out there tweeting, "Oh, I hope this company fails." Like the amount of people that want to see like Gears of War full or fail and just like watch the company fold. It's just like, so you want people to lose their jobs and their financial well-being all because so you can say Microsoft sucks. Okay, but. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad though. Like, I always want to see gaming at its best. Like, I'm sick of like unfinished games, broken games, just all that bad stuff in gaming. I want it to change. I want gaming to be actually good again. So when people are expecting it to just, be worse than it already is, that's just sad because you're not really setting the bar up there. You're putting like low expectations. Like if you really love gaming, you should like always want it to do its best.
That is true. Was one of the best years in gaming, and it was probably one of the great years for shooters because it was the year everybody was going at it. 2004. Whew! The summer going into fall 2004. Even Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft came through with big gun shooters around the same exact time. Nintendo came through with Metroid Prime to compete freaking Sony came through with Killzone. I think was it Killzone 1 or Killzone 2? Killzone is I think Killzone. They came out in 2004, their first one, and obviously Microsoft released Halo 2 in 2004. They each platform had a shooter ready to go for like the holiday season. That was I can't imagine being my age now then and going at it for gaming. That was one great year. I remember the Gaming Informer cover that year when they had all three of them, like the triple threat version. I think I still got it somewhere, but that was big. So, but I can't imagine if something like that happened like in this generation. People would probably be shooting each other in real life. They came out with their big guns around the same time. You know what I mean? People would probably, they probably see like death threats and like real life people meeting each other at each other's places for how personal things would get if we see something like that. So I would love to see exclusives go like that, would be so close in release, was so close and dynamic, and what they mean to their respective brands and whatnot. That'd be awesome.
Man, it's funny you mentioned that because actually, buddy of mine was at the Uncharted 4 launch at GameStop in my town, and a guy came in and bought Quantum Break, and then someone in the crowd, like 3 guys, tried to fist fight him over him trying to buy Quantum Break at the Uncharted 4 launch party, and they ended up calling the cops, and a bunch of other stuff went down, and there was like a full-fledged fist fight over some guy having the cojones to come in and try to buy Quantum Break I think it was like 10 minutes before Uncharted 4 came out.
Oh my god.
Like, the guy has guts, I'll give him that, but apparently he was there to pick up his copy of Uncharted 4 too, but he wanted to get Quantum Break, and apparently a bunch of people lost their minds and like tried to haul him out of the store, and it was just nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, people do that. You know, I've done that on launch days before. I've gone to like a big game release just to pick up a game. Like I did that on when NBA 2K came out. Like I went there even though I bought freaking like I got live like digital. I was like, you know what, I'm here to pick up NBA Live, and actually, whoa, I did. Yeah, I picked up 2 copies. I did do that. Yeah, I picked up NBA Live in the middle of a 2K midnight release.
One of those 8,000 people, right?
Man, I'm about like 5 of those 8,000 people, honestly.
You didn't get any crazy stares looking at you behind that?
People said they're dumb things, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you guys don't know what real basketball is. I was like, you all getting raped when you go home. that's what they did, was get raped. I mean, only in 2K they can sell out of digital sneakers and you still buy digital sneakers. I mean, it's not, I'm sorry. But what else there? I wanted to start taking some questions. We actually been on for almost an hour, not quite. But any questions in the chat section? There was a question earlier by I'm looking for it now. Sorry for the blank sound. All right, my man Jay Dubia. He says, "Do you guys think Scalebound will be any good since Platinum Games is making it?" Who wants to tackle that first?
Well, I think Platinum Games making it means it's probably going to be at least good.
Well, Platinum Games had a few hookups with their past 2 releases. Ninja Turtles, for one.
Let me preface that. Mostly because Hideki Kamiya is working on it himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the guy behind Bayonetta and Devil May Cry and Resident Evil 4. And he's got a laundry list of games, so I have an Okami. I have no doubt that it's going to be at least good. So.
Yeah, it's hard to mess up a JRPG, honestly. As long as they fix that frame rate issues and enhance the game a bit, it should be fine. And I also want to mention Horizon and this game kind of reminds me of the same type of situation. They're both made by, lackluster developer studios, so they both have potential to be major hits or, just bad.
Okay. Nick.
I think it's kind of I'm gonna buy Scalebound personally. I love RPGs. I'm not a huge JRPG fan, but I'll buy this because it's an exclusive for one thing, and I'll try a new RPG out that's for an exclusive RPG. I'll give it a shot, but I don't think it's gonna get the kind of support that it deserves because typically, though Xbox has had some really good RPGs in the past, they don't necessarily get the support that say Gears and Halo get. So I don't expect the sales to be astounding. So I'm already prepared for the people that'll be posting on Twitter. Oh, who actually bought this game? It'll be a good game though. Them pushing it back gives me more faith in it being a good game.
I mean, I thought the game looks good. Like I said, I'm not a big RPG person, but I do like I do like beat 'em up hack and slash. I'm a one person that doesn't criticize hack and slash games. I like them. I like them. So Scalebound, watching it being played, it didn't look like anything that was like, oh man, it captured my interest. To me, I thought it looked good. I like the RPG elements that are in the game, being able to command the dragon and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. I think it's going to be. It may turn out to be a great game. It'll be too soon to see for me to say what type of scores it'll get. Will it be supported? That's the thing that I'll be worried about. Of like how well would it do? Will it turn up and sell like Quantum Break, give you like 200, 300K, or will people come out and support the game? So I will be one of the first to pick up the game and to play as much as I can. I don't think there's not one Xbox One exclusive that I did not. I think that I did not complete. I completed it and like beat and put hours upon hours on like every Xbox exclusive that I invested in. So Scalebound would be the first of its kind because, like I said, the RPG stuff, JRPGs haven't really been my cup of tea. But what I've seen from Scalebound looked more than interesting for me to jump on. So.
Yeah, my only worry about that game is how simple it'll be to control the dragon, if that's going to turn into a pain or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really it.
And do we have what type of game is ReCore going to be? I think Kal answered that in the comments, but for those who are not paying attention to the chat, who has information on ReCore? Who wants to answer that question?
I've seen the trailer, and I have no idea what that game's gonna be.
Oh well, I know.
I mean, the only thing that I might be able to come up with is, since it's made by former Retro Studio guys, the ones that worked on Metroid, and I believe Kenji Inafune, who did Mega Man, that it's probably going to be a third-person shooter of some type. Maybe that has you switching out that little ball, the little orb, switching out that so you can you'll be like trapped somewhere, and you got the dog robot, and it's like, oh, there's a gorilla robot over here. Let me put in that. Let me get out of here. Something like that.
I think I know a ball is going to be a big part of the game, and I think what that does, I think each one you collect, you get a different type of special, a different type of power that you can use against enemies. And then I think over time, like for example, I don't know if any of you guys played the game Cameo Elements of Power. Like over time, all the monsters that you captured, the people that you saved, you had a new monster that you unlocked, and they had special abilities, and you can just swap them out to help you beat certain bosses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like ReCore, I mean, that would be a good idea, just to have all these different enemies. You got to collect their orbs, but each orb is unique in a way that you can use it. It provides you a special ability, a special weapon to help you defeat other enemies and different bosses. So that's what I think it may turn out to be?
Yeah, hopefully they have it at E3 because that is one of the games on Xbox One that I'm actually curious to see.
Yeah, I want to see more of it. If it's not coming this year, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, it might. I don't know.
And
I have to plug this for E3 since we're talking E3. Nicodemus wanted me to make sure that I plug the fact that he's the one that's predicting Crash Bandicoot will get a reveal at E3 this year, and that he was the first one saying that. So he wants to lay claim to that and want video proof of that. So just throwing that out there, whether that's agreed with or not, is up in the air. But
No,
Wait.
ain't happening. I don't think it is.
wait, say that again?
Nicodemus is saying that Crash Bandicoot will be coming at E3 this year, guaranteed.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that. You know.
Well, the big thing why everyone's hyped is because they said since there was the little bit in Uncharted 4 with it, they're saying that somehow because of the Call of Duty deal, that somehow Sony has reacquired Crash Bandicoot and they will be making a Crash Bandicoot game, and that it'll be coming out.
So you got this from Call of Duty?
That's where the rumor I've seen came from. I don't know where Nicodemus got his information, but that's the only rumor I've found, is that since Sony has so many deals with Activision's like, here, you want your original IP back? Here you go. They're just giving it back to them. But,
Yeah, we're just gonna give you your IP because we're promoting Call of Duty on your console. If Crash comes, it comes. I don't know, but I think if it does come, it's gonna come in the form of a troll. It's gonna be some sort of like $20 like PlayStation Plus. It might even be a multi-plat, honestly. It'll be like some sort of. I think it's gonna come in some sort of an arcade game, or they're gonna put it in like the PlayStation Classic store or something like that.
yeah, I don't know. I think it may eventually come, but I don't know. I'm not sure there's a huge demand for it. Like, everyone always demands the nostalgia games, but whether or not everyone buys them and plays them is up to it. Like, Ratchet and Clank had huge success, but me personally, I always liked Ratchet and Clank better than Crash Bandicoot, personally. Just personal tastes.
Wait, you said say that again? You liked what better than?
I always liked Ratchet and Clank better than Crash Bandicoot when I was
They were generations apart though. I don't think there was like Crash Bandicoot and Ratchet and Clank like lived in the same era.
No,
Well,
but I also grew up a little later though.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
I'm only 23, dude.
Oh man, my bad.
Yeah, I'm on Ratchet and Clank side.
Yeah, I mean, Crash Bandicoot, like I said, man, when Crash Bandicoot was out, I was still on Mario and Donkey Kong. Honestly, I didn't really platformers. It wasn't really my thing. Like at least 3D platformers wasn't my thing up until Ratchet and Clank came into play. And my big thing was, do I like Ratchet and Clank or do I like Jak and Daxter? You know, I had a cousin that loved Jak and Daxter, but I was a big fan of Ratchet and Clank, so I used to buy both of them, give her Jak and Daxter, and I would play Ratchet and Clank. And then when I was done with Ratchet and Clank, I would give her that, and then she would give me Jak and Daxter and stuff. But she could beat Jak and Daxter, I couldn't. But I could beat Ratchet and Clank. So. But why do you guys get quiet? Like all of a something? What did we?
Oh yeah. Also to add in, did anyone watch the new Mirror's Edge Catalyst trailer?
No.
No.
No, actually, for some reason, I feel bad, but I have absolutely no interest in that game at all, and I feel awful about it. I feel absolutely horrible, but I cannot get interested in that game. I wish I could, but I just can't.
Yeah, I tried playing the backwards compatible version and stuff like that. I was like, I've never been a fan of Mirror's Edge. It looks great and shiny and stuff like that, but I mean, I'll try it out again. I think the EA Access version comes out on Thursday, maybe. So, 2 days. So, Go ahead, Javon.
Yeah.
I know you wanted to say something.
Oh, I just wanted to know why Nicholas wasn't interested in Mirror's Edge.
Honestly, I didn't like the first one, so the second one really just doesn't hold too much of an interest for me. I think I played the first one for about an hour, and it was cool, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. I guess I don't know. It just didn't catch my interest per se. Maybe it's something I'll revisit and try again because that was years ago when I played that. But it's just some games I just can't get into. It's the same thing as like I've been an Xbox guy for 8 years and I didn't play Gears of War till this year.
Oh wow.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Man. Oh wow, that's that. Wow. Okay. Somebody asked us to do E3 predictions. I'm not going to do that this episode. We're a little bit a ways out. Let me look at the calendar. Today's the 24th. We can do E3 because I want to make sure we fully staffed when we do E3 predictions. And I think we will be in the position to do E3 predictions. We can do them Monday, Tuesday, because our show's on Tuesday. We'll do them Tuesday, June 7th. We won't do them next week because it'll still be May. I want to be into June when we're doing it. No, because, matter of fact, because by June 7th, all the E3 might be leaked. So we could do, if we could do the E3 predictions on Tuesday, May 31st, because I fear that on June 7th, all the information we get may be leaked. So next week will be our E3 prediction show.
I'm just gonna that dude with the face. I'm just gonna answer his question there. Predict the worst E3 conference. I'm gonna go ahead and say Nintendo just showing Zelda's probably gonna take that one.
Well, they're not having a conference at all, so I wouldn't even count them.
Yeah, they're just doing a Treehouse event, so of course it's gonna be the worst.
I would say to answer that would be the PC conference if they're doing that again, because last year that show, like, I was actually hyped to watch it, but turns out it was like a late night Jay Leno show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the PC conference was boring, but I say either Bethesda or Ubisoft is going to have like the most boring conference this year.
Ubisoft always. Ubisoft always has the worst conference. They always have the most boring presenters in history. Like I don't even think they smiled at last E3 because they were like, "We're selling you the same games we sold you for the past 6 years, but we gotta try to keep a straight face."
Yeah. You know what I mean? There's two things that I'm looking forward from Ubisoft, and that's the new Ghost Recon, but Ghost Recon and then the game For Honor. The problem with For Honor and Ghost Recon, I'm just a little bit afraid of. I don't like Assassin's Creed the way they play, and I'm hoping their games tend to play the same, and I'm hoping For Honor plays nothing like any of the Ubisoft latest action games, and I'm hoping Ghost Recon does play nothing like The Division, and it plays more like Ghost Recon. So, and Kal-El, the man, I was about to call him TiC. His name's Kal-El asked, oh man, he said, name one big franchise Sony and Microsoft bring back for nostalgia. Go ahead.
Sony, the only thing, well, Crash or Sly Cooper, maybe.
No, they tried those, and I think Sly Cooper like flopped.
No, I thought Sly Cooper 4 did pretty well, I think. I can't remember. For nostalgia purposes, I mean, it might work, but I don't know if you're reaching that far back. Xbox, it isn't everything that blinks the cat. I don't know.
Yeah,
Blinks.
Man, all I want is I don't even think it would work anymore because games are so outrageous now. But I just want a new Conkers. But I need it to be as offensive as the old Conkers was at the time. So, like, basically, you wouldn't be able to buy it anywhere because it'd be banned. but like Conkers, I love. I don't know, like, as far as old school franchises, like, if you go back to the original Xbox, there was a lot of good games on it, but there's just none I can realistically say see Xbox going back and going, we'll make a new one of this. I just don't see it happening. And Sony, like, they've done a lot of digging into their past already, and it's worked well for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Crash or Sly Cooper tried to make a return. I say try because who knows how it could work in 2017, because we know anything that's announced at E3 won't be coming out in 2016. Pretty much,
Actually,
anyway.
another game that they could probably bring back is Siphon Filter.
True. I forgot about that.
I feel, man. All right. I don't know if I'll say I'll bring any games back, but for PlayStation, the games I actually would want to come for nostalgia purposes. The Getaway. They need another Getaway. Getaway. It's like there's games I can play. Like I said, I'm not a Grand Theft Auto fan, but I was always a fan of the games that wanted to be Grand Theft Auto but wasn't quite. That's why the earlier Saints Rows were awesome, and that's why The Getaway was freaking awesome. If PlayStation shows me The Getaway, that actually comes out, don't use it as a tech demo, and actually bring the game out, yeah, nostalgia purposes, The Getaway was probably one of PlayStation's best games, one of PlayStation's most underrated games. Definitely, please bring out The Getaway, bring back The Getaway. I don't care if it's The Getaway Remastered or you put out The Getaway 3. As far as Microsoft goes, man, I'm going to say it like this. It has to be, like I said, I'm looking for another Perfect Dark game or another Cameo or hell, like, I don't know, they can wrap something up with Sega to give me another Condemned game. Those were the games I've like enjoyed and was hoping to get more out of a series. Hell, another Full Auto. You know what I mean? Great game. Great games that need more, that needs another. And another one just to get out of the way of nostalgia, but at least a resurrection of a game. There's one game that I remember I pre-ordered, and I don't even know if I even got my money back for pre-ordering this game. E3 2005. It was the game. It was coming out for the Xbox 360. It was showed at E3, and I downloaded. I bought the E3 triple disc DVD thing and I kept watching this game. And I was like, I can't wait until the Xbox 360 come out. It was this game called. None of you probably may remember this. It was this game called Frame City Killer, and it was by Namco Bandai, and it was going to be a third-person shooter. The game, I think it was running on one of their Unreal engines at the time. You were supposed to. It was like a cross between. I don't want to say a cross between Hitman and Splinter Cell, but more with like more heavy action because it didn't seem as stealthy as those. It's just that the environment reminded me of like a Splinter Cell and a Hitman, because I guess the main character dressed in like a suit with glasses. He had access to weapons. The game looked great. You had vehicles in the game. Frame City Killer. When you get a chance, Google it, YouTube it. You might find an old trailer there. If somebody can give life to Frame City Killer, I will be very, 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 very happy.
Actually, go ahead, Smooth.
I'm done. I just said.
I got a real Xbox One answer now. It'd be, if they were smart, it would be Battletoads. That's it. If they brought back Battletoads, they would win. If it played like I've been trying to. I think I wrote an article about it where.
Yeah, I read that article. I remember it. Yeah.
Where they should make a God of War. Battletoads basically like God of War. I mean, it's right there. Everything's there. Even if they made a 3D version of just the arcade, it has big bosses. They can traverse with their tongues, I guess. I don't know. They're toads. They have special powers. But, I mean, I think if they want to make a splash, like, it's not going to be as big as Final Fantasy VII because it's not going to be that big. The only way I can see something as big as Final Fantasy VII is if they make a deal with Sega and make Panzer Dragoon Saga. But yeah, Battletoads is it.
Okay, I was thinking long and hard about this because this is a difficult question to answer, but I had to think back like all the way to the PS2 era because that era is kind of tricky because the games that were exclusive then are not exclusive anymore. So my PlayStation answer would have to be Def Jam. I feel like a lot of people want to have that game and play that again because
And
that
was
was
never an
such a great
exclusive,
game.
though. That game was never an exclusive.
Yes, EA, isn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't exclusive to
It came
PS2.
out for like everything. I don't think it. I think the only
Def
console
Jam was on
probably didn't
GameCube,
come
I
out-
think.
Yeah, it was on
Yeah.
GameCube too.
Oh,
Oh, I never played it on game. I never saw it.
Yeah, I remember the thing about Def Jam. They used to come out. Them and NBA Street used to come out around the same time. By the EA big team, I think did that.
What about Ghost Rider?
That might have been exclusive. I'm not sure. I haven't played Ghost Rider.
Okay, well, if not Def Jam, then Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
like Marvel Ghost Rider? That was a video game? I don't remember.
I don't think it was like Marvel at the time because like it was more it was like more of a deeper, darker story. So I don't think Marvel had a hand in that.
Yeah, no, Def Jam was PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation Portable.
Okay.
I didn't even know that, so.
I thought it was gonna get deep cut like Mr. Mosquito.
Yeah, but honestly, you know, it would be a messed up thing that would piss people off. If anybody really wanted to play Shivnu, they could just play Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, you're playing with fire there, man.
Think about it, dude. That's
No,
all.
I know, but you go
Sleeping
piss
Dogs
off.
is just Shivnu with a different name, dude. It really is. You know, it's just like they don't need to make another Shivnu because it's been done. It's just in a horrible version. Not really. If you were a Shivnu fan and you played Shivnu and you want to play something close enough to Shivnu, play Sleeping Dogs. But or play Yakuza or something like that. Them Sleeping Dogs, they're all the same shit. Like, and that's the thing. Watch when Shivnu does come out. I guarantee you I won't like it because I didn't like Yakuza and I didn't like Sleeping Dogs at all. But who knows? Any questions? Any more questions before we go?
Someone wanted to know what Titanfall Princess wanted to know what your favorite Xbox exclusive is.
Hi, Titanfall Princess. How you doing? If you're still watching, if you're still in, more than happy to have you on this show for an episode. Also, there's somebody else I want to get on this show pretty soon. But Titanfall Princess, if you're watching, love to have you on the show one day. As far as what's my favorite Xbox exclusives, well, that's the thing. Are we talking about like Xbox 360, Xbox One, or Xbox overall? I mean,
I think they mean overall.
oh man. See, the thing is, I'm not an Xbox original, so it will not include any original Xbox games. It would only include the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. So my favorite markers, my favorite Xbox exclusive, of all time. Man, that's freaking crazy. I'm gonna go out and say I'm gonna say I'll give you freaking 3. I gotta give you at least 3 of them. I'm gonna say my first one would be Gears of War 2. Second would be Halo 3. And I'm only saying this because I'm going by how many hours and hours I put into these games when they came out. So Gears of War 2, Halo 3, and then the third one, sorry, Cameo Elements of Power. Those are my three favorite. I know about Fables, I know about all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, if I had to pull three of my favorite games if you gave me an Xbox One, I could only have three games for the rest of my freaking life, it would be Gears of War 2, Halo 3, and Cameo Elements of Power. Perfect balance.
Okay.
Those are not bad games.
I would just go with Gears as my favorite game.
Which one?
You making me choose.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Because I just realized when playing the remaster, I realized, hold on, I liked Gears of War as a game, and that was more of the story. But when it came to overall package, whew, Gears of War 2, and then Gears of War 3 I enjoyed more than Gears of War 2 because the thing about Gears of War 2 was it had a great multiplayer, but it was like laggy as shit. They had a lot of problems with the multiplayer.
Mhm.
But I struggled. I struggled. I did. I don't care. I played it and forced myself to enjoy it. Gears of War 3 obviously was really, really, really good. I loved it, but Gears of War 2 easily my favorite.
Okay. I'm gonna give it to the first Gears because that's the one that sold me the most into getting Gears 2. So I gotta go with that one.
All right, and I don't know if that was a question for everybody, but anybody else got a favorite Xbox exclusives?
I'll just stick with this gen because I didn't have a 360 last gen. Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh my God!
It was amazing.
Oh yeah, that is an Xbox One game I haven't completed. Wow, it was an Xbox One a game I purchased and didn't complete. I got far enough into it, and it just ran out for me. So yeah, there's not every Xbox game.
Physical release is coming out, man. You should get it.
I might get the remaster, and that might, because it's only like $4 if I buy the remaster since I own the original, and that might get me back in, and I might actually complete that. Who knows?
Plus, man, it's got like a easy mode now, so you can probably finish it now.
I can probably finish it now, yeah, because it was one mode in the original. It was hard, right?
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, just hard. Oh man, and man, what about you? Undead.
I'm going to split it into two generations. 360. Oh, that one's brutal because there's so many good games on the 360. I'm going to have to say that the exclusive I put the most time into would have been Halo Reach. And that was because that was the first game me and my friends ever spent. It would be like every weekend spending hours upon hours playing SWAT 4v4s constantly on that for like 9 months before my friends decided to go on to Call of Duty instead, and that was a lot of fun. This generation, so far, Sunset Overdrive, just because I like how goofy the game is. I love the fourth wall breaks. I'm having a ton of fun with that right now. Once again, playing with friends. But those are my two favorites so far. I think Scalebound may replace Sunset Overdrive when it comes out, but I'll wait.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I was just saying exclusive for the Xbox One, Scalebound would have not Scalebound. Sunset Overdrive would have been in that list. Sunset Overdrive and Forza Horizon 2. As far as this dude said, I should just build a PC. Where have you been in the last 6 months, sir? I built a PC. It's called the Xbox 2. I just don't play much on it because I don't know. I love consoles. And what else is there? Any other questions before we skedaddle? I know the NBA playoffs are on.
Oh yeah, I definitely gotta watch that.
You guys know how I feel about my playoffs, so.
Yep, I know how you feeling right now, so.
Yeah. Antsy, all right. So no questions. And Titanfall Princess, did you get my invitation? Just say that. So as soon as I see your reply, I can actually just stop the podcast right now. He says, "Are you a crap gamer fan, Kid Smooth?"
Are we
No.
touching that one?
All right, here's the thing. Is Kid Smooth a crap gamer fan? Crap gamer has blocked me, so I guess not. As far as like when it comes to, I don't have like an opinion on people on YouTube. I don't care what people do. If I see people putting out content and the content's okay, good, you know what I mean. He has a strong following. Most of them are haters. I mean, I will tell you this. I used to be a big fan of Crap Gamer, actually more than Next Gen when I was watching people on YouTube before he became this egotistical person that he is now. Used to be a big fan of his as far as a personality, and this is what people get confused. They think when you say you like somebody or something like that, they're like, "Oh, why you like this person?" It's like me personally, I like character. I love content creators. So I don't sit there and attach my heart and soul to whatever message these people put out. You know, that's why like when the Mooch came out, I was like, this dude's awesome because character, personality, and the content that was created. I feel like Mooch had like the best content, stuff that you can see, and it didn't matter if you believe the stuff that they're saying. It's just great content. Like I said, Crap Gamer at one point I really enjoyed as a personality, but you know, people heads get really big over time, and you kind of just it's like you follow like a artist or something at some point in time. They just do a little bit too much. Like Kanye West used to be my favorite rapper. He just did a little too much, and I just don't really follow the man anymore. But hey, it is what it is. Can we? He said, "Don't feed the trolls, kids." Yeah, I feed the trolls way too much. Honestly, I'm running out of food. Actually, I like that. And is that it? Are we all set?
Yep.
You're all set.
I think we good. I think you've raised Cal's blood pressure high enough for one day.
Okay, all right. Let's go, because I'm ready to go. All right, so you guys going to do your outro so I can tell everyone how I am the best bot?
Oh man.
Ready?
I guess I'll go first then. Thanks for having me on Kid Smooth. It's EXP Gaming. You can find me at EXP Gaming on YouTube. I am also a writer of TiCGN Inner Circle. Definitely go check me out there. And yeah, definitely a good conversation. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks. I'm glad we kept your attention for an hour, man. I thought we were going to lose you to another game, man. You know I'm going to kill you on that every time you come on, all right?
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
going to be expecting that from now on.
Cool. Well, you don't take it personal. You good.
Alright guys, thanks for having me. NewType86, all one word on Twitter and YouTube. Writer for TiCGN, so check out some articles. That's it.
Alright. Oh yeah, I actually got my first article on TiCGN.com. Hope you guys enjoy it. Microsoft and Xbox One will be getting the Torrent app, Torex Pro. So I'm interested to see how that works. I think that's honestly going to be the secret to background music on the Xbox One. Is going to be the Torrent app. Check it out, TiCGN.com. It's in the description below. Go ahead, Undead.
Undead 3XVI, glad to be here for another day of discussion and fun. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, just about any form of social media. Don't necessarily use it all, but thank you guys for having me as always. And if you follow me on any of those forms of social media, thank you very much, and have yourselves a great night.
Yep. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to another episode of the Writer's Block Podcast. This has been episode 17. We'll see you guys next week where we'll do our E3 prediction of our Writer's Block E3 prediction special edition. That sounds right. If you guys have been following me on Twitter, you guys know I've been rumbling. I'm going to be starting a blog soon, so I don't know when I'm going to do it, but if you have any questions for me in regards to the blog, just hit KidSmooth, hashtag blog question and ask your questionnaire. I'll do something with that. But we'll see you guys next week, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and that's all I got for you guys. Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We're out. Peace.